why I do these papers? Well, those are scraps. The failed ideas, ones people call too non-scientific or too unrealistic, or at least that's what they told me. See, people kept telling me I had to choose medicine or dance, creativity or logic, but every time I tried to pick, it felt like tearing pieces of myself apart, just like these scraps. And yet, these discarded bits became the place where my real passion initiated. In fact, what if I told you that the ideas you discard, the scraps, the things people say don't fit, could actually give you an extra 6.5 minutes more of possibility of creative life? 6.5 minutes where new possibilities are born. There are a lot of dubious spaces here. And no, I don't mean this gives you an extra minute on the clock, but every time you revisit a discarded idea, you gain time in the world of growth and impact. And I, Harshni, will demonstrate to you today on how to claim that time for yourself. Let me show you this as a simple Venn diagram. One circle is science, all the problem solving or logic. The other circle is arts, creativity and expression. And the space where these two circles overlap, that's what I call the third space. It's not just science, it's not just art. It's what happens when you explore what exists in between. This is the place where I learned to weave together things often overlooked as separate threads into something new and meaningful. More than a year ago, I had the chance to speak at a TEDx talk. I shared an idea that might have seemed a little random at first. It was about a spoon. Yes, an everyday simple spoon. But here's the twist. This spoon wasn't just any spoon, to eat or any other ordinary spoon. In my talk, I explored how it could connect with healthcare and everyday life. How a tool we usually take for granted could become a bridge between different worlds. And that spoon taught me something important. The most meaningful ideas don't always come from the obvious path. Sometimes it comes from the space in between. In my own life, I've seen the space at work. In dance, I learned precision and flow. In science, I explored problem solving and experimentation. In speaking and debate, I sharpened my voice and learn to listen as much as I argue. Together, I uncover patterns that connect ideas across boundaries in ways I never thought was possible. Now, let's play a quick game, shall we? We all know the classic three-door riddle, but this time, it's only two. Behind one is fire, and behind the other is water. Oh, and you also have a bucket there. Now, raise your hand if you go through the fire door. Alright, I barely see any hands. That's a wise choice. Then, raise your hand if you go through the water door. Alright, I see a few hands here and there. Alright, so here's the twist. What if, instead of choosing, we try to connect them? What happens if you pour water into the fire with that bucket? Normally, we think that the fire goes out. But something new forms, and that is steam. And steam isn't just smoke. It's energy. It moves engines and it drives progress. And that's the whole point here. Growth doesn't always come from picking one side. Sometimes it happens when two opposites meet and we create something new that propels us forward. Now, let me show you something that I found in my home garden. I noticed a crack in the pot, and to my surprise, a part of the plant grew right through it. And it might look like it's fake or AI generated, but trust me, it isn't. So initially, I thought the crack in the pot was a flaw, but I then realized that it was a source of growth. Life thrived in spaces between solid parts, teaching me that the third space fosters growth, where two seemingly random elements come together and create something new. And like as always, I love to incorporate a formula to make ideas easier to remember. So here's one for this moment. Crafts plus curiosity plus courage gives us creation. I call it the 4 C's. First, crafts. They are the unexpected gaps, the limits, or maybe the discarded bits. Then we have curiosity. It is our willingness to learn or to explore behind or beyond the obvious already known. Then we have the courage. It's our guts to let different things collide. And all of this added will give us something special. Creation. It is the new ideas or growth. Just like this land, when we let different things come together, collide and combine the unexpected, that's where growth can also happen. So here's my promise to you. The ideas you discarded, or the spaces you hesitate to create, or maybe even the cracks you see as obstacles, they are not dead ends. If you revisit them, if you let curiosity bloom, you'll gain more than insights, you'll gain time. And remember these crafts I showed you at the beginning? The ones that seem useless? Well, these are where your extra minutes live. Extra minutes to grow, to see, to create, and to make an impact. So, by the end of today, I hope you found at least 6.5 minutes more of possibilities, enough to start something you didn't think was possible. So I ask you, what craft are you holding on to, and what have you discarded too soon? Thank you.